Hi, I'm Jeff Ebbett, solicitor and founder of Your Divorce. Today I'm talking about actually getting a divorce, what's involved from A to D. What isn't a divorce? So a divorce isn't a property settlement, which is the division of assets between a separated couple, and a divorce isn't resolving the outstanding matters involving the care of children post a separation. The divorce is the legal ending of the marriage and can occur after parties have separated for more than 12 months. Do we have to get divorced is always a question we get asked, and the answer is no. People may never get divorced after they separate. However, some people will try and divorce one day after the 12-month time limit is up. The first step in getting a divorce is actually filing the divorce application. So the preliminary steps are that we gather the necessary information to file the divorce application. That can include, for example, the marriage certificate. It may also be the citizenship certificate if someone is born overseas and become an Australian citizen, and there are various other documents which may be required to file with the divorce application itself. So once we've received an application and gone through the matter with the client, and they've actually then had a look at the draft divorce application, we will file it in the relevant court registry around Australia, which is either closest to the client or will get us the earliest possible hearing date. So that's when the hearing date is obtained, when the divorce application is filed. Initially, what is sent to the client is an outline of our costs and also what documents we might need to file with the divorce application. The second step is then we send a draft divorce application to make sure it's all properly completed, and then we arrange for the client to sign a form that gets lodged with the court together with all the other paperwork to obtain the hearing date. Payment is made by a client either in two ways. Some clients are happy to, once they work out what the total costs are, to pay all of those costs up front. In some cases that's not possible, and once we have the court filing fee, we will commence preparation of the documents, and then the client has a few months then to make arrangements for payment of our own costs. But the payment is actually held in our trust account. Because we're an online legal law firm, we have a trust account, and it's important that the money that's sent to us is kept safe. The divorce application is sent at the time we have prepared it and prior to its lodgement. So when the divorce application is then lodged, we will then arrange to send it to the other party if it's an individual application, or if it's a joint application signed by both parties, then once both of them have signed it, it is lodged but does not require service. So let's talk a little bit about service of a divorce application. In a joint application signed by both parties, service is not required, as I mentioned previously. But an individual application, which is about 4 in every 5 applications, service is a requirement, and that usually is required that the documents are sent initially either by post or handed over in person to arrange that service. Yes, there's 2 types of divorce application. As I mentioned, a joint application with or without children, and there is an individual application which is just simply brought by one party to the marriage. Yes, there is. So once we've actually have the position that an individual application is required, we hopefully then receive what we call an acknowledgement of service back from the respondent spouse, which is the spouse who receives the divorce after it's filed by their former spouse. So that documentation is usually made into a couple of affidavits, and one of them is to acknowledge that the service has happened, and is actually an acknowledgement of the proof of the signature, we call that. And that's signed by the filing party, and then we upload that with the court so that the hearing can proceed. Probably the most common question we have is, do I need to attend the court hearing? And the answer to that is in very rare cases, but generally no. So as your solicitor, we will normally attend the court application and the hearing as needed, and make sure that the divorce can go through without any hiccups. At a divorce hearing, and usually they're batched into groups of about 10 to 15 hearings in front of a registrar of the court. So that's essentially not quite a judge, but a high court official. The high court official then gets to hear the divorce hearing and establishes whether the paperwork has been properly completed, it has been served, if it's an individual application, and that all of the documentation matches up, including parties' names, and importantly, in relation to the children, that their care, welfare and development is also covered off. We have two stages in a divorce. We have the divorce hearing itself. Now at the divorce hearing, a first decree, I'll call it, is made, but it actually is a month and a day later that the final decree of divorce is made and the divorce certificate issues. Yes, we do get paperwork to show that the divorce has been granted. It's called a divorce certificate, and that divorce certificate is available from the court. We will download it and we always send it to the client and to the other spouse if that's requested of us. So that's basically the divorce process in a nutshell. So we find that historically areas where the divorce can get complex is in making sure that the other party has been served, because sometimes their location is not known initially, or they're uncooperative in the divorce process. And we also sometimes have issues where marriage certificates are from overseas and might require translation. There are some general little paperwork bits and pieces that we have to sort out, but that's what we are experts in, and we are happy to assist in getting those things sorted. And that's the divorce process. So thanks very much for taking the time to listen today, and we look forward to being of assistance if needed in the future. Thanks.